as soon as you reach 50, things going to change. And the mobility, this is the first thing that we're going to lose. So it's really important for you to start stretching or at least doing some mobility movement. Another thing too, you're going to start to gain some, especially the tummy here, this part is going to start to grow. So the food intake is so important because when you reach a certain age, you're not going to be able to digest as fast as when you were young. You know, when you're young, you grab pizza, you eat like you eat at the buffet, right? And after the buffet, after a couple hours, you know, you're ready to go again, right? Well, when you get older, it's different. You know, I can't go to the buffet anymore. It's too much food, right? And in one time, so I eat a little portions during the day. And the portions, you know, are really important because it keeps me going. So it's very small. It's this size, you know. That's it. And I know people say, well, how many grams? It's what I do is actually I don't really measure it, but I listen to my body. So if my body wants more protein than carbs, I'm going to eat more protein. And you have to be really in tune with your body, and that's really important. You know, it will tell you what you need. If one day, example, you need to eat chocolate, there's a reason why. Just don't think twice about it, except the only time that I will say that you got to be careful is when you walk in the store and you see pies and you see cakes, and this is more like your mind is telling you, oh, I want it. It's not the body telling you, you know, I need something. So that's a big difference, you know. The mind will trick you, you know. It's kind of like the evil food. It's like evil. And it tells you, oh, look at this. That's why we have commercials on TV, and you see, you know, any kind of food, you know, that they throw at you, and you say, oh, I want that. Because automatically it will tell you, it gives you a signal. So the brain gives you a signal to your body, and your body will react and say, okay, this is what I want now. Instead of the opposite, you know, I wait for the body to tell me what I need, you know, and that's really important. It's a bit different. Like sometimes, you know, my body tells me, okay, I need to drink. I need to drink more water. So it tells me what to drink, and then I have to listen to it. Another thing too is mobility, cardio. These are really important, but the main thing is there's a different time in your life. You know, there's a time where you want to compete, so then you have it's you cannot miss a training, and you have to really push yourself. So that's different. And then you have the maintenance time. So this is where you want to look like that, and you want to be like that all year long, which is hard because, you know, it's not easy, you know, to keep it consistent, especially with life, you know, dragging you here, dragging you there. It's just, you know, every time you go to the restaurant, you don't know the cook, you don't know what kind of oil he's using. So again, you know, sometimes you got to be careful, especially when you reach a certain age. You know, when you're young, it doesn't matter. You can't eat anything at the end. You know, it's just your body is so new, so strong, and then it doesn't matter. It's made for survival. You know, and then you can't grab anything, and it will transfer straight into energy, except if it's plastic, obviously, right? Another thing too is where you're gonna buy your food, and it's very confusing right now, and that's why it's so hard for us to decide. Even if you go to a good store, like it was supposed to be good Whole Food, but actually you find out they're selling crap out there, and it's more expensive than the example, the Walmart. It's the same product, but one is more expensive than the other. So you got to be extremely careful where, what food you're gonna put inside your body. So, and I would love to have a study with, you know, like the food that's not, it's food, but it has been engineered, and how much calorie, how much energy you're gonna generate from that. And another food that has been grown in your own garden, or a farmer, a local farmer, and you know it's clean and they're doing the right thing, you know, and you eat this, and let's see how much energy it can generate from that type of food. So you got the engineered food, because the whole thing about food is really energy. There's nothing, and repair obviously your body, but it's about energy. That's it. So it would be like putting diesel into a gas tank, or you need to put unleaded in it. So the performance, obviously, you're gonna have an issue. Well, it's the same thing that I see with food. Food can be food is really energy. As soon as we reach a certain age, okay, this is important because when you're young, we can't even talk about it. It's just. I remember when I was in the Navy, we ate like, we had only like 2 or 3 minutes to eat, and it was super fast. And whatever we had, we just grab it and eat. We didn't care if it was protein, carbs, whatever, but in the old days we had, I think the food was a little bit better. It was not engineered as much as what it is now. So, so it's a little bit different. But I remember that time where we ate very fast and then we're on the go. Who knows when will be our next meal? So, but now it's different. When you get older, it's so different. It's hard for us. It's harder because not only we're living in a different time, but the body has been beat up for years and years and years. So I'm 65 years old, and obviously, it's, to keep yourself in shape, it's not easy. To keep yourself going with the energy, it's not easy with all the thing that we have, between whatever they spray and another thing and whatever it's in the food, it becomes really hard for us to keep going, So another thing too I want to talk about is of performance. So if you go, example, to a BJJ class, so you do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and then you roll with young guys, right? And especially white belt, blue belt, and after purple belt, I'll see you have to be careful because this is where they try to really rise up to the brown belt and black belt. Black belt, they have nothing to prove, so it's easier to roll with a black belt because it's not going to hurt you than to roll with a purple belt or blue belt or even white belt. You got to be careful. So again, when you are after 50 and you start rolling with a guy, and then suddenly it's a question of inches. He's going to grab your arm and he's going to pull it to a certain angle. And my body is not as flexible as it used to. So maybe that angle was okay before, but as soon as it reach a little bit more, boom, this is where I'm going to have a tear. Okay? So you can have muscle tear or ligament tear. And that's kind of this is why it's kind of a, jiu-jitsu is kind of a yes and a, because of the amount of time that you need to fix yourself after you got hurt. And striking is a little bit different. Striking, you get hurt, boom, you get a punch in the face. I used to have come back, and my eye was all blown up. Obviously, that takes take us a week, just to come back to normal. But again, depends. If you wear a MMA glove, just be careful. But if you wear, if you wear like, let's say, 12 ounces glove, you should be okay. And again, it's just it takes. I remember it takes less time for me to recuperate than when I got hurt in jiu-jitsu. In jiu-jitsu, it just takes forever, and then your shoulder is never the same, or your neck is never the same. So again, what you have to do is always take care of yourself. So there's few things that I do. I do cold plunge in the morning, and a lot of people say, "Oh, you need to stay there for 5 minutes." Yeah, sometimes you need to. Yeah, that's true. Maybe once a month, but every day, just if you go inside the cold plunge and just dump yourself up, stay there for 30 seconds. It doesn't matter, and come back up. I'm telling you, it just revives yourself. Just you're ready to go for a good day of workout. Another thing too is jacuzzi is important also as well, and sauna. The reason why this is important because it loosens up your body too. So I like to do in the jacuzzi instead of staying and drinking beers. What I do is I stretch inside the jacuzzi. It's really good. And then in the sauna also I do the same thing. Or sometimes in the sauna you can jump rope, if nobody's around, or just do shadow boxing. This is good too. Just shadow boxing. Moving your hips, moving your legs, really good.